Well, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has declared imports of electricity and additional power equipment must be increased as Russia's attacks have triggered an energy crisis. The country has declared an energy emergency as thousands of homes are without heat and electricity in freezing conditions. Well, for more, joining us live is Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organisations Chair Kateryna. Argyrou, thank you so much for joining us. You just got back from Ukraine. You saw your family. Freezing conditions yet again. It's up to, their fourth year now. How is it there?
Yes, the conditions are very difficult. Janie, thank you for taking an interest in this because it's certainly not getting enough coverage globally. We currently have the largest country in Europe that's facing major blackouts across major cities in the entire country. I was in the city of Odessa and I was in the city of Kiev, and the situation is so critical that there are major power cuts across the entire country, and in cities like Kiev at the time that I was there, over 1,000 homes didn't have energy, electricity, heating, and hot running water. When I was visiting my mom, I had to walk up 8 flights of stairs because the lift didn't work, and that happens on a daily basis. I visited my grandparents that live on the 13th floor, again, a 13th floor walk up. My grandfather's currently sitting at home with a broken hip, and he can't even visit the hospital because he's not in a condition to walk up and down 13 flights of stairs. There is absolutely freezing conditions. When I was there, it was -10. Now it's getting down to -20 degrees. And it's very difficult when you can't even take a shower at home or have to sleep in coats and layers of blankets because Russia has attacked every single energy plant across Ukraine. There isn't a single plant that hasn't been attacked by the Russian Federation.
We know that yesterday, I'm really sorry to hear what you're going through and how your parents and grandparents are dealing with this. It's just horrific. And as you said, so many people with no energy. The biggest nuclear power plant there, the Zaporizhzhia one, which provides a lot of energy, as you well know, the International Atomic Energy Agency had gone there, didn't they, to basically have a look and survey what was going on. It's a mini ceasefire, they call it, between Russia and Ukraine to monitor it for its safety. Tell us about that.
Well, right now, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, it's the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It's under Russian occupation, and the Russians, against international law, are using it as a military object. They are storing their military equipment there. They're using it as training grounds for their military operations. And there have also been reports of the Russian Federation using the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant as a base to strike the city of Zaporizhzhia. So that is completely against international law. And the fact that Ukraine's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Andriy Sybiha, recently reported that Russia plans to hit substations that currently provide power to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, that could be absolutely disastrous. It's something that we should be talking about on a global scale, because if anything happens to the Zaporizhzhia power plant and disrupts it, it would not only be catastrophic for Ukraine, it would be catastrophic for all of Europe.
And tell us more about that.
I think that we need to bring attention to the fact that the Russian forces currently occupy the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It is against international law, and we need to have countries like Australia also taking a part in this and speaking up against this. I would also like to call on the Albanese government, and specifically Foreign Minister Penny Wong, to consider providing support to Ukraine in this time of energy crisis by providing a donation to Ukraine's energy support fund.
Give us an example of the enormity of what's happening in Ukraine. I've been reading that they're comparing it to the biggest situation in terms of a war since World War II. Would you agree with that?
Well, Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has gone on longer than the Second World War now. The situation is absolutely critical. Ukrainians have been facing attacks, daily attacks on a 4-year basis now. When I was there, I was in Ukraine just recently for 2 weeks. Every single day that I was there, Kyiv and other regions of Ukraine were under attack. Some nights there were over 20 ballistic missiles that would attack Kyiv, hundreds of Shahed drones. All you would hear is explosions everywhere around you, and you would hope to God that your building wouldn't be hit. People have stopped going to bomb shelters because of the intensity of those attacks. They are sleep deprived. It has a huge impact on mental health. And the people that are the most vulnerable in Ukraine society are the ones that are bearing the brunt of it. It's the elderly that can't help themselves and are fragile and frail. It's children that cannot protect themselves. It's mothers that are often left caring for their children on their own because their husbands, sons, brothers, fathers are on the front line trying to defend Ukraine against an illegal and immoral invasion that seems to have no end in sight. There are talks about potential ceasefires at a global level. Headlines talk about it. But when you're in Ukraine, when you're on the ground and you hear those missiles attacking your city and flying over your head, and you can't even prepare food at home because sometimes you don't have electricity for days at a time. Your kids are sleeping wrapped up in a number of blankets. You don't know what the next day will bring. You can't plan for the following day. You can't plan your life at all. You're in survival mode constantly. Imagine the level of stress, the impact on mental health, and that's what Ukrainians are currently going through right now. And all they're asking for is for someone to speak up for them, because as they're trying to survive on the ground, there are people globally that should be speaking up against these atrocities, these war crimes that are being committed on a daily basis. And we all collectively should say enough is enough.
And not knowing when it's going to end too.
Exactly.
And it's going through that exorbitant temperature drop. You know, what temperatures are they at the moment?
Currently, it's about -20 across Ukraine. Right now, we have a pretty cool day in Sydney. It was about 20 degrees. Well, imagine the complete opposite of -20. And one thing that Australia can really do is close the sanctions loophole that allows the import of refined Russian crude, because essentially Australians are unknowingly financing those war crimes and missiles that are hitting Ukrainian cities.
All right, well, it's good to see you. And, yeah, we'll be continuing this story. And, yeah, not many words to say what's happening, but just thinking of you and your family.
Thank you, Janie.
Thank you.